One of my favorite questions that I get in an interview, or when somebody gets in an interview, is a question that they don't know the answer to. And we've all been there, or we will all be there someday. And for most of us, this is one of our biggest fears of interviewing is, what do I say when I don't know what the answer is to the question? And most of the time, it's not a behavioral question because we can come up with answers for that. We can get into a dialogue and share. It might be something more technical. And so an example that I give is if you're going for a little bit more of a technical role and they ask a very specific question regarding, let's give an example like Excel. And for those of you who are familiar with Excel, within Excel there's a formula and there's a thing that you can do called pivot tables. And it helps you run a deeper analysis on data that you have within an Excel spreadsheet. For sake of this example, that's all you need to know. But let's say you have no experience with pivot tables. Your get out of jail free card for this question, if the interviewer asks you, so how much do you know about pivot tables? What's your level of familiarity? So most people will do one of two things. They'll say, I don't know that at all. And they feel bad about that. And I don't think that's a very good answer to say, oh, I don't know it. You're telling the truth, but it doesn't do yourself justice, and let me explain in a second. And the other answer is they'll maybe lie and they'll say, yes, I know what pivot tables are, and then if they get asked a follow-up question, they'll really fumble through it, and the interviewer can usually tell. So here's what I recommend saying. If you are asked something along those lines and you don't know the answer to it, or it's not something that you have a level of comfort with, or something you've done in a past role, you can answer like this. So Peter, what is your experience with pivot tables and working with Excel and doing a deep analysis on data? Well, Mr. Smith, in my past role, that was actually not one of the requirements or one of my job functions. However, while I don't have a ton of experience working with pivot tables, based off of other things that I've done within Excel and learning other skill sets, I know that with Google and YouTube, which I'm pretty sure your company has access to the internet, I can pick up pivot tables in less than an hour. And what that does is it shows the interviewer your resourcefulness. It's a little bit of a humorous answer because you're saying, oh, I think your company has access to the internet, because every company has access to the internet. And it answers the question in a way that you come to the table with, how can I learn this? How can I fix this? How can I become the best employee? And so instead of saying no, and instead of saying yes, explain that it's something that you're open to learning. And for most companies, that's what they're looking for in an employee, is they know that they're not hiring you for every single specific item that they're looking for on their job requirement. But they know that if you're willing to learn and you're willing to overcome, just like any job that you've ever had, that you will be a good candidate for them. So once again, you can say, hey, with Google and YouTube, I know that skill set, in this case pivot tables, it can be anything. I'll be able to pick up in a half hour, an hour, and it's something that I'm even willing to work extra time or put in personal time to learn every once in a while so that I can become the best employee for this company. So if that's a part of the job description and job requirement at this firm, I'm definitely open to learning it. I just want to make it clear that in my last role, that was not part of something that I did, but I'm more than happy to learn and really become the best employee here as possible.